Knew that was gonna happen. Good evening. It says now with the broadcast, so I guess that means that it is Boogie with the Bull Thursday night, Uncensored, or whatever we're calling it tonight. Chuck Cook is with me, and the live chat is open on the Dave Golden profile, and it's open on the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel profile as well. So come in there and talk to us and tell us what is going on in your neck of the woods. I'm going to check something really quick.
All right. Oh, not a whole lot going up here in Wisconsin. It's kind of overcast all day. Had a couple little sprinkles here and there, but put up a birdhouse back in the backyard. It's got 5 different little entrances for the birds to go into, and we'll see if they like it or not.
Well, hopefully
looks
they
pretty.
will.
Looks pretty. Nice.
It looks pretty.
Well, we'll see if we get any action in there. I'll give it a day or two. And
all right, William Grant is watching. Good evening to you, William Grant. And as I said in the notes, to come and join us. We'll be here till about 8:30 tonight. Jerry Michaels said he would be late. Jen Woodruff is on special assignment, so she will not be with us tonight. And let's see, Michael Anthony, you got an invite. Nikki Young got an invite. Everybody got an invite. And anybody else who wants to be on, you now have an invite. You just have to be in the live chat, and we will send you.
I'm doing one more quick thing here.
Send you a link. Chuck is the music meister tonight, so he's doing one more thing. What are you doing? Oh, Chuck's gonna probably invite a bunch of people to come to watch him. Hopefully they will. And,
yep, I just got done. I'm ready.
He just got done. I didn't mean to pick on you. I just, as I usually say, I just don't have anything to go with. So sometimes I look forward to when everybody is going to be here, and hopefully someone brings.
You got to get these people to be on
something to talk about. I did read that President Trump, I guess, has reversed a Biden executive order, which I guess deals with the use of water for shower heads and other home appliances. He did, in fact, reverse that. So feel free to take a shower.
All right, now we can take a shower. And we'll all smell good, so we'll all get along then, right?
Yep. Also, the House GOP, I guess, approved an order to restrict the reach of judges.
Yes.
Which is definitely overdue. And let me see if there's anything else. China has blocked the Panama Canal terminals deal, which might be a negative for BlackRock, who evidently bought the Panama Canal, but I think it was contingent on the terminals deal going through. So who knows what the future of the.
We'll see how that turns out. I think that'll turn out just fine. Yeah, everybody's gonna start paying attention to Mr. Trump, and
I think everybody is, because it just sounds like a lot of people don't seem to know what is up. If you listen to Chuck Schumer, President Trump is going to cause all kinds of problems because tariffs are going to go up. If you listen to Kevin O'Leary from Shark Tank, he said yesterday that he would be happy if the China tariffs went up 400% because it would get Xi Jinping on the phone with President Trump, and they would probably resolve this whole thing
Yep.
very
Oh,
fast.
yeah, it'll all work. Just a couple little hiccups in the road.
It'll all work out. I think, if anything, what it's going to do is it's going to get American manufacturers that are outside of the United States to think about coming back. I know that Apple loaded up a bunch of cargo planes with every new ready to sell iPhone and brought them here to the United States, willing to pay whatever the total was. The tariff was at the time the planes hit the ground and landed, but understanding that if they at least did it now, they would have iPhones to sell.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't understand why Apple doesn't make them here in the United States. Anyway, Billy Harding up in Leominster, Massachusetts is watching. Always a pleasure to have you watching, Billy. And so that about covers what's in news that you can't use. And let me see if there's anything else that I should have done a better look at. New court decision in a disputed North Carolina race.
Yeah, I heard old Tampon Tim up there in Minnesota was addressing a bunch of veterans, and they booed his ass off the stage. Yeah.
Good.
Yes, sir.
I'm glad to hear that because people are angry at him for claiming that he even was a veteran.
Well, I don't know if they booed him off the stage, but they sure let him know they weren't happy with him. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they,
yeah.
well, that's
Yeah.
we got to vote these people out.
Well, he deserved it. I don't see anything else in the news worth. I don't see anything else in the news worth bringing up, and I'm kind of stumped.
What
do
do
you
I
got,
got?
Chuck?
I got.
Anything?
I don't know. I hope it ain't contagious. Whatever I got.
No, I just meant, some nights you just kick the mic on and you go
just
live.
sit here and shoot the shit. I guess. Yeah.
You hope there are people in the live chat and someone has an idea, and you hope that the invites all were received. And
I'm going to put my headsets on. I'm going to try anyways. I can hear. I can barely hear you, but just keep on here for a little bit. Let me see if they're even charged up.
Try. I did have a little bit of trouble with my laptop with the two newest Windows 11 updates. There is something in an update every once in a while that changes my headphones and my speakers, and so I had no audio on my speakers until it decided to all of a sudden clear itself up today. And other than that,
yeah, I can hear you just fine now.
There really isn't much. There really isn't much exciting.
Yeah.
And, we didn't get hammered with copyright infringements yesterday, so I don't know. Maybe they're going to leave us alone. With that, I did hear you playing "I Am a Rock, I Am an Island." I do not remember
Simon and Garfunkel.
Whoever sang it, but I was singing. That's right. I was singing that one along as I heard that one.
I played "Hey Jude" by the Beatles. I played that one. That might have been before you activated my speaker or my mic.
That might have been. So it's kind of embarrassing. I'm I'm not as prepared as I should be for tonight.
Yeah,
I'm kind
well,
of
you know
swaying
what?
for
It ain't
things.
no big deal, Dave.
Things
Just settle
to
down. It's
things
all
to
good.
things
It's all
to bring
good.
up. You know, but we are here, and
It's all good.
I could bore everybody with. No, I wouldn't bore everybody, but I could tell stories about when Billy uh, Harding and I were cab drivers up in Waltham, Massachusetts. But that will bore
Right?
everybody. Jane O'Malley is watching. She's not in the live chat
Oh,
yet. Maybe
she'll
Jane
get
will come
there.
into the
She'll
live
get
chat,
there.
and Jane will have
Yeah.
something new and exciting for us to talk about.
Oh, where the hell
Uh,
did my thing go? Oh, there it is. I forgot.
or
I
you
forgot to
leave it.
plug in. I
Whatever.
forgot to plug in. There we.
You forgot to
There we
plug it.
go. Now we're up.
There we
There we
go.
go. There's
There we
Jane. She
go.
says hello.
There's Jane.
All right.
There it is. All right. Good evening, Jane O'Malley. And anything you got that is worth discussing tonight, Jane? I'm going to apologize to everybody. My mind went blank, and I didn't really see anything worth bringing up. The few things that I brought up, I didn't really spend enough time looking at them to bring them up. Uh, did you? Jane wants to know.
No, it is attached. Now.
It could hurt when it could hurt if you woke up and your thing wasn't there.
Yeah,
Uh,
well, it kind of reminds me of Chuck Berry song, My Ding-a-ling-a-ling.
my dingling. Yeah.
Swimming. We have a creek that comes through Beloit here, and it's called Turtle Creek, and that song was popular back in the 70s, mid 70s there, and we lived right
Yep.
above Turtle Creek. Actually, we could see it from the back windows
Yeah.
of the house, and yeah, I thought that was kind of unique, to have a song about the
Oh,
creek
you
that
don't have to
goes.
apologize, Jay. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Chuck.
What did I do? Oh, yeah.
You started talking. I started talking, and then Jane typed, "No apologies, Dave," because I guess she's as ready as the rest of us are tonight, which is
Yeah.
okay, because we'll just kind of muffle along until we've either done everything we wanted to
Right.
do, or everybody's heard everything they
I'll tell
wanted
you
to
what,
do, or
we're gonna get rich off of the late fees.
I don't charge late fees. I just don't believe it. I've always said people come
When you
when
can.
they're ready, because none of you get paid. I don't get
No,
paid either,
no,
but none of you get
no.
paid. None of you get paid, and if you did, it would be a little bit different. And if I did, it would be a lot different. And it just reminds me that you got to take some time during the day and
That's right.
keep a watch on
Yeah.
what's going on, and make notes on my handy dandy notepad. I mean, I do in fact have that. Make notes on my handy dandy
Yeah,
notepad.
I got one of those
Some
too.
things
Right?
that
Yep.
yep, some things that might be worth discussing. Mark Zuckerberg, I
Nothing
guess,
on.
Facebook, Meta, whatever you want to call them, I guess is going to be in some hot water with Congress, or some potential hot
No,
water
that's just
with
Congress.
Congress,
That's just
because,
yeah.
well, the gal, I guess, is now trying to become a whistleblower. I guess she was the director of global whatever Facebook does. And let's see who's here. Jerry. Jerry is here. Okay. Jerry has now joined us. And no, that's not what I wanted to do. That's what I wanted
Oh,
to do.
who the
There.
hell is that?
Okay.
Hi, Jerry.
It's Jerry.
Wake up, Jerry. It's party time.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
Yeah.
not so much. But
no, no.
hopefully soon. You know how long it's been
Yeah.
since I've been without a vehicle? This long? I was trying to count up the year. I don't remember the last time I was out of a vehicle for this long.
Probably before you were able
Yeah.
to drive.
Is it
No,
related
during
to
my
the things that you've
DUI,
been
there were a
working
few
on?
years there actually.
Is it related to the things that you have been working on, or is it another
No,
thing
so far
for
I have
replacing the
I
things you were
fixed it
working on?
3 times, and now I'm fixing it again. Um, 2 times I had to fix the exact same thing, and now I'm fixing the exact same thing again. Uh, and the reason is because all the parts are made in China.
Mm.
Because I can't afford the actual parts that go to the truck, like Mopar,
Yeah.
which is for Dodge and or Ram rather. And I mean, for the part I just bought today, they want $240 for a gas pedal with a sensor built into it. And I gotta tell you, I didn't really think about it a lot. When I looked at the gas pedal and didn't see a bar like going through the firewall with the cable, that is the weirdest thing you'll ever see.
Wow.
And I don't know why I never thought about it. Obviously, there's no cable on the outside; it runs on electronics. But the reason it costs so much is the sensor that is attached to it. You naturally cannot replace just the sensor. So the new part comes with a bracket and everything else that you don't need because there's already one there. And
Yep.
so I paid today for 2 parts, $168, and it's really hurting my feelings.
Damn.
Jano
Uh,
Valley has a great idea. We could pitch in here, Jerry.
what do you mean pitch in?
I think, well, I'm not going to say GoFundMe, but I'm thinking
No, we
maybe.
don't want to go fund me.
Okay, no, no, no.
Oh hell no.
We wouldn't give you, we wouldn't give you a GoFundMe, but I'm in for. I think there's, I think there's six. I think there's $6 in my lottery jar. You can have.
Oh, well, there you go.
I mean,
Yeah,
you
that
can
should
have it
be
because I'm not. I'm never going to win the lottery anyway.
nothing I have fixed so far 3 times has cost less than 20. So, well on my way. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate that.
And
Yeah.
tonight's fines will be enacted. Anybody who's late will pay a $10,000 fine to Jerry.
There you
Yeah,
go.
no, we ain't doing
No,
that either. This is your
no.
show. You take the money. Thing
Yeah.
is
When,
it's been like a month and a half, and it's ridiculous. I have fixed the same shit going on 3 times now,
right.
and it really is ridiculous. This
Yeah.
piece here is the throttle control unit. It's where the air goes into the engine. This was $59, and it's broke already. It was in there a week.
Ouch.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do we know why it broke, or it just broke?
Made, it's my favorite famous saying in my house. Nobody else ever hears me say it, but made in China shit.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
No, that's it. That is
Yeah.
literally it. Usually, what irritates me are the tiny screws they send for every damn thing we use. The kind that you can't keep in your arthritic fingers just to get them started, and you hate the Chinese for it. But
Yeah.
this one is bolted in with 4 bolts, and there's one electrical connector that goes right here. Yeah, you can't see it, so it doesn't matter.
So,
But
so,
the point
so,
is, it does, and at least I don't have to take the whole top of the engine off again.
oh, ouch.
Good. Well,
Unless, of course, the oil cooler is still leaking. Then I have to do it again and go buy, actually spend the money on the real one, which is, again, $225, I believe. That will actually fit the machine hole in the block with the piece on the oil cooler that all goes in together nicely. But hey,
wow.
and I gotta tell you, there ain't much to any of this stuff really. Inside of this plastic piece here, there's some gears that make this flap open and close. Okay, for to let the air into the engine so it mixes with the fuel and you have an explosion and the pistons go. And what was wrong with the old way where it was all on a cable and you had the freaking carburetor and um,
They just want to make it more difficult for everybody to do their own work on their vehicles.
I don't see where this is better, Chuck. I don't.
Well, I know.
It's more
That's
expensive,
it.
but it's not better.
Right. Yeah.
People, you don't realize how complicated it is to work on these. It's like Jolene when she was talking about her truck and need a wiring harness. You could make a wiring harness for that truck. You literally could. It would take some time and you'd have to run it and everything, but you could literally make a wiring harness for that truck. Nowadays, you can't.
Right. Wow.
Back in the day, you took two wires, you twisted them together, you put some freaking electrical tape on them, and you moved on down the road very quickly. Now you got connectors and all kinds of crap going on. You shoved the freaking wire into the fuse box behind the glass fuse, and you had a fan on the dashboard because you didn't have air conditioning, that kind of shit. So you had to have something. They used to sell these little fans you could screw to your dashboard, and I had one.
Yeah.
But
wow.
It's all over now. What's a wiring harness? A wiring harness is the thing that makes your vehicle run. It's where all the electricity runs to all the things that run on electricity. Which is damn near everything, Jane. I'm tell you right now. I got 4 body grounds, not one like the battery where it used to just hook up to the frame, or it would hook up to the like fender or something. You'd have a bolt in there. That was it. Now there's 4 of them.
Okay.
And a computer.
Yep.
And my computer ain't the good computer. It's the shitty one because I have the low class 1500. Anytime I go onto a parts store, it's the last one in the list. It actually embarrasses me. I feel like I need a protest.
Oh.
I've added backup camera. I've added tailgate assist. I've added remote locks. I have remote start, but it came from China. So the directions are: here's your shit, put it in.
Oh my!
You pay now. That kind of thing.
Yeah, you pay now. We tell you how
First
to
backup
do it.
camera I got came with directions. Didn't bother to tell me I needed a relay, and it didn't work, so I threw it away because it wasn't worth sending back. It would cost more to send it back than the damn thing cost. But yeah,
right.
That's what happened. So
yeah. Yeah, I got to get a couple new antennas for my car for the 2 CBs that I've got in there, and they're all rusted and corroded, and I got wire showing, so I'm definitely losing signal out through the coax there. Well, that's because in through
K40 magnet mount.
Magnet mount.
Yeah, K40 magnet mount if they still make them.
Well, the ones they sell at Walmart, the antenna, it's not like long enough for you. But I got to tell you, that magnet on that, you put it on, you could barely get you take paint off trying to get it off. I was actually surprised. It sucks though because you have to drill a hole somewhere to get the wire to go through the roof or something, because otherwise it's just going through the window, and if it starts raining, you're screwed.
Well, I go through the trunk and then along the back seats and then up underneath my seats,
Right.
To the radios. But opening and closing your trunk over a period of time, it pinches the coax, and
Yep.
it's not really something you can just kind of repair. So
no, not when it's that close to the actual object it's attached to.
Yeah, it's about that far away from the antenna where it happens, because I loop it a little bit and then feed it into the trunk. But so I got to go out and buy two new ones. Oh well.
It ain't cheap no more neither. You still get them like $10, $15, $20. How tall are they?
Oh, I don't know, probably about 2.5, 3 feet,
Yeah,
three
that
feet
one
maybe.
from Walmart I think is 6 inches, so that ain't gonna work for you.
That might be VHF.
No.
VHFs are only about 6, 7 inches.
Well, yeah, but the one I bought was actually for that. I still have the CB in there. It works, but it sounds like everybody's 17 billion miles away in space.
So you need an external speaker. I
Well,
have one right behind my head, so I
here's
can
the
hear.
problem with the CB in my truck. I enjoy my shins as they are. I have over the years learned how to not to walk into the trailer hitch and that kind of thing. And if I have to have a CB in the truck, it has to be for me to make it convenient. It has to be like in front of me under the dash, and I will slam my shins into it every time I get in the damn truck because that's what happened to my remote brakes for my trailer when I had it that way. They're now on the dashboard. I bought the thing and hooked it up and everything.
Yeah.
So,
Oh boy, you just can't.
plus, and why put a UA jet, whatever it is, in the truck? You can't hear shit, and I know I can receive. I don't know if I can transmit, and if I do, it's not going to help because there's no traffic really in space. Just a lot of shit floating around. So there's that.
Yeah. And your range is only going to be about a couple miles, anyways.
Out here, probably less
If
than
that.
that because of all the trees. Unless you have the
Yeah.
whip antenna,
Yeah.
and them things are like $300.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a cheap one, I think, if I'm not
People,
mistaken.
Yeah.
Like I knew a guy that had one, and he
people
used
do.
to have it like somehow it would. You had it up on the front toolbox, and he had it bent down backwards, and it was attached to the top, part of the tailgate of his truck somehow. But when he let it go, it was like 85 foot high. It hit the
Yeah.
bridges as you went under it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. I used to have one. 108-inch whip. Yeah.
I think
I mean,
actually
yeah.
that it's been a long time, but that may have been the length. Actually, it seems familiar
Yeah.
for some reason.
And it had a big spring on the bottom of it.
Yeah, let's
And
go
then you
back
could.
to riding
Yeah.
horses. Well, here's the
And
problem with horses, Jane. If you want a radio on there, they don't really take much to you hooking wires up to them. That's the problem.
No.
Yeah,
No,
they
they
don't like
really
that too
don't.
much. No,
No, they don't.
plus, backup cameras and stuff like that. It's not a lot of room on a horse for all that stuff. I really enjoy doing that kind of stuff. I really do, like wiring and putting new shit in. I got a second fuse box in the back and everything. I got a power inverter in there, and it goes up to the front where there's a switch to turn it all on. The power inverter and the switch or the plug in the dashboard, which is a regular cord plug, so that if there's a hurricane and I don't feel like getting up and doing a bunch of shit, I can just take my coffee pot out, sit in the truck, and make coffee. That kind of thing. As long as the truck's running. Hey, Nick, how you doing? Hey, Nick, turn down your microphone there.
Oh, I got
Yeah, that's right. He's backwards.
you.
He's
Yeah,
backwards again, Dave.
it was too loud.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Well, it's Thursday, so he's backwards because
It's like
he's on
Tuesdays
Boogie
and
with the Bull
Thursdays.
tonight.
I got a
So.
huge head on here. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday,
Oh,
I look normal. Well,
well, as long as that camera doesn't fall
no, look at my head takes
and
up
the
the whole
lights come
screen in
on.
this, and I can't adjust it.
Oh well.
Hold on, I wonder something. Talk amongst yourselves.
Okay. Okay. Talk. I like that. Talk amongst ourselves. Okay. How are you, Nikki?
I'm doing okay, Dave. Uh, yeah,
Yeah.
just hanging in there.
Oh, how's your
Good.
daughter? I'm sorry. How's your daughter?
She's okay. She actually went back to work today. She didn't, you know, just a little sore from the T-bone.
Yeah.
But
Ooh.
yeah, she told me that the car looks like a crushed Coke can that she was in, but the F-250 truck. It had one of those cattle guard bumpers that she said it had a little scratch on the bumper that was about
Ow.
it.
Whose fault was it? Hers?
No, the guy ran a stop sign and T-boned her.
Ooh. Ouch.
Wow. The left side or the right side?
Well, passenger side.
That's
Oh, good.
probably why she got away with
Yes,
any injuries. If it had been on the driver's side,
Yeah.
probably a different story. Yeah.
it'd been a whole different story.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Well,
Yep,
good. Glad to hear it. But
yep.
My daughter got that happen, was on the driver's side, and I'm almost positive she was on the phone.
Yep.
And it wasn't her fault. The lady hit her and went through the red light, which is normally how that shit happens every time. Um, and she wasn't hurt at all, but she was scared to shit. But that didn't stop her from getting 8 speeding tickets afterwards. So
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
yeah,
I got in one car accident in my entire life, and it wasn't my fault. I kind of like Jasmine did. This old man, he was 75 years old, ran a stop sign that had a caution light with it too, and he he hit the front of my car that I was in, and kind of took off the bumper. It was it was a little Geo Metro, if y'all remember those cars.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, little 3-cylinder car, and got some good gas mileage. But he hit my car, and he was like, he straight up said, "First accident I ever been in my life. All the years I've been driving." He said it's my fault. He told the cops everything. He said it's my
Yep.
fault. I just wasn't paying attention and ran it. And he was in a big car, but yeah, I didn't get hurt or anything, so I wasn't gonna sue the old guy. The insurance paid for the repairs of the car, which I just took the money and didn't repair the car because it was still drivable. So it's kind of how you do that.
Yeah. That's always fun if you can do that. In my experience, you have to watch out for those little Toyotas and the rear bumper of your Lincoln Town car, especially when they're on the phone, because they will they will hit you very hard. And the last one, I remember the Mass State Trooper saying to the no, the Connecticut State Trooper saying to the nice lady, "I'm going to check your phone and see if you were on it. So you might as well tell me if you were on it now." She told him.
Yeah, we didn't even have cell phones back then when I got in that wreck, uh,
Yeah.
but so it didn't matter. But
Yeah.
anyway,
I'm glad she's okay. That's a
other
big
than
job.
that, it's always people, you know, scratching my shit or denting my shit in a Walmart parking lot or
Yeah.
something.
it don't even matter how far back you park. You could park in 3 parking lots down from a Walmart. If something say if something happens.
It's gonna be a jackass that's
Yeah,
gonna come and hit your
Yeah.
shit.
yep,
Yep.
Yep,
Yep.
crazy man.
every time. Or,
Oh,
or you are you gonna go to the Walmart and then you're gonna come out and you're gonna see some little Pat guy stealing the lug nuts off your
Yeah.
vet, and I caught him, and his mama's in their vehicle right next to me.
Oh yeah, who do you think told him to do it?
Yeah, she
yeah.
knew exactly what he was doing,
Did
and
you
I
call
said,
him a Pat?
"Well, you know what I'm talking about.
And
I'd like to solve the puzzle."
and,
Jesus Christ!
and if you
Oh
ask him,
yeah,
I
I
mean,
saw that one.
what what the hell did he have? Did he just want the lug nuts? I mean, were they cool looking
I
lug
don't know.
nuts or
Uh,
something? Because if
I
you
caught
ask
it.
a lot of these
Yeah,
ask
it's chrome
yeah,
lug nuts with the vet symbol
okay,
in the middle, so they're not cheap.
right,
And he was working on the first one when I caught him, and I said, "What are you doing to my car?"
And, and
Nothing. He had his hand on the damn valve stem, turning the.
don't, they don't probably fit on the car he was driving.
Yeah. And
No,
his
but
mama
you,
had this.
you
His
put
mama
them on
had this
eBay and
big.
you get $25.
Yeah.
Yeah. His mama was in a big, nice suburban kind of thing, and I'm like, "You little rat bastard! Do you really
Yeah.
need to steal lug nuts off my car?" So his mama didn't like me,
Yeah.
but I let her know what I thought of her kid and her,
Yeah.
and said, "You better check your kid
Yeah.
and check yourself,
Yeah.
'cause he's lucky I didn't really go off on his ass, 'cause I didn't know she was in the vehicle at the time." I said, "I'd have skull dragged that little bastard all across this parking lot."
Yeah.
Sculpture, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, you have to. Yeah, we can't have nothing nice, Jerry.
No.
Can't have
No,
nothing.
because we buy it so other people can take it and have something
Yeah,
nice.
and
Yeah.
destroy it, and you're gonna get some jackass that doesn't have insurance, and they're gonna hit you, and you're stuck with the entire bill. So you get this uninsured motorist insurance that we all have to pay, although
Yep.
they don't have to, because they just don't give a shit about getting insurance or inspection and license and tags and everything else.
Right.
And they're in some old beater that that the fenders are falling off and everything, and
Yeah.
they got duct tape holding on everything. They don't
Yeah.
care.
Yep.
It's a
Duct tape
beater with
holding
the
the
heater.
lug nuts on.
Well,
Yeah. I just don't. I don't know. I don't understand what makes those people. What makes their heads work? Maybe that's the
Well,
key
I'll
answer.
tell you what
Their
it is.
heads.
They're black, and all they got to do is scream, "I can't breathe," or
with money.
"You're making me afraid," or "Oh my God, you're white, and you owe me." That's what
Yeah.
it is. It's that whole mentality. That's why when you go on the social media, you see the major brawls. You see them fighting in the Denny's. You see them fighting in the Walmart. You see them pulling all this stupid shit, and it's overwhelmingly black people.
Yeah.
Sorry, the truth.
Yeah.
Yep. But they can't figure out what's wrong with society.
They can't figure out what's wrong with
Yeah.
their own group.
Yeah.
Okay, and what it is everybody's no snitching, and you know what? You want your neighborhood to safen up? Here's what you got to do.
Start
You
turning
have
yourselves
to.
in.
You got to start turning these drug dealers and slow lives in. I'm going to tell you
Hmm.
something. I took over that last building I did, and I did it by my damn self. To the point I carried a gun everywhere I went, or some kind of weapon in my hand at
Yep.
all freaking times.
Yeah.
Whether it be a nice long screwdriver, which was a Phillips head or something, that with enough force, that's a knife, or a shiv, I guess, and so on and so forth. I didn't, I couldn't go out at night without a gun on, but I did
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
that's good that you had that. You didn't need any penetrating oil or anything to go with it. So yeah. I just thought
I,
that just came off the top of my head. Just
I don't
kind of
know
uh,
when you see this big six
or
foot
right
plus.
out your anus.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
when you
like
see this big
holy
6 foot.
shit.
no, it's just like it's like, and this ain't new. This shit
No.
ain't. I remember in the '70s where I went to high school. If you went over the bridge going east from my high school, you were in what we call Browntown, and unless you were
Right.
there to buy dope,
You didn't belong.
they didn't really want you in there, and they wouldn't
Yeah.
screw with you.
Yeah.
And if you were in there to buy dope, you went in, gave them the money, they gave you shit, and you left. You didn't have a 40-minute
Yeah.
conversation with somebody.
No, you didn't. You didn't make any friends over there. I mean,
Oh, and they had them all them buildings that are painted that projects green or projects beige or
Yeah,
project. Are there every city they're the same damn color?
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
We had a projects um, that they actually eventually had to destroy the whole place. Well, it was destroyed ahead of time,
Yeah,
but
but
they
Uh-huh.
had to demo the whole place, just
Yeah.
demolish the whole place because these people would. This is in the black community. They would bust holes in the walls between all the apartments so they can move around. It was they destroyed the place. I
yeah,
mean, it
Oh
was
yeah. Yeah.
totally destroyed.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Mm-mm-mm.
yeah, I mean the drug dealers take over. They have ways to escape. And the cops know it and they don't do nothing because the politicians won't let them do nothing. So
Right.
this is what it is. And you know what? What these idiots don't get is they're fucking their own people.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
they've been fucking their own people since they became free.
yeah,
Right.
I mean,
yeah,
back in the 70s, I remember everything was about stealing Social Security checks in the hood.
Uh-huh.
And it was, they were, beating up black old ladies. Who the fuck does that?
yeah,
What kind of mentality you got to have? Go up to old lady, beat her up, take her Social Security check,
yeah.
or
Uh,
cash after she cashed it, because that's
Yeah.
usually what they do.
Right.
Yeah.
yeah, it's like not long after my dad became a cop in that same projects before they condemned it and demolished it. Um, they were on a bus, and these dudes. That's when food stamps were paper stamps. It wasn't an EBT card,
Yeah,
Yep.
and they had those big lawn bags, uh, big ones, like 55-gallon
Yeah.
bags, full of food stamps, and they were gambling with the shit.
yeah,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they busted them and pulled out like 5 of those bags. I mean,
yep.
imagine the food stamps that were in there, because most
Well,
people would sell their food stamps for cash.
yep.
Yeah.
50 cents on the dollar, something
Yep.
like
Whatever
that.
you could get. Yeah. Yep.
Hispanics have taken that over, at least here. Down here, they're busting Hispanics constantly at these little bodegas
Yep.
where people go in and do that and they give them 50, 75 cents on the dollar, and then the people go buy their drugs or whatever it is they're doing. And, the guy is cashing in somehow cooking the books to cash him in for a full dollar, and he's making extra money.
Yeah.
And quite a bit of it. Once the word gets out, this is the problem with that business. Once the word gets out, everybody's coming to you, and these are all drug addicts.
Yeah.
Yep.
Somebody's
And
gonna give you up when they
yeah,
get caught.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And they sell the food stamps. I don't know what these people were eating because they sell all their food stamps
Yeah, no
so that
shit.
they can get cash to buy their 40s and you know what I mean, 40s,
Yeah.
Schlitz malt liquor,
Oh,
uh,
I had one once.
and their
That the
cigarettes,
one
and
with the bull on the front.
that's
Yeah.
horrible.
That is the worst shit that ever was invented.
Yeah, it's
My
it's
weather
horrible.
radio's going to go off. They got a test coming up here in a couple minutes
Uh-oh.
Okay.
or sooner. So I just got to make sure that it sounds off. I'll
Emergency
shut it off.
broadcast.
Yeah, no, it's just a weather channel. We're having tornado
Oh
testing. We
shit.
had one at 1 o'clock this afternoon and another one at 6:45. So it should be going on shortly. So
Yeah.
I'll turn it off as soon as it starts.
Donna gets them on her phone, but lately it's just been station alert. And then we sit there and wait like 15 minutes and no alert ever comes through.
I got one the other day. Some kid in South Florida got stole, I guess, snatched up or something. Probably
Yeah.
by a parent. I don't know. It's
Yeah,
usually when
Yeah.
they find them, it's the other parent that has them.
yeah, the Amber Alerts.
Normally the psycho mother.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, the Amber Alerts, and then I
Amber
get
alerts. Yeah.
the federal emergency alerts, like for tornadoes and
Yeah.
hurricanes and all that good
Yeah.
stuff that come on the TV, and everything's blasting in the house, and you know, and my dad's bitching about it. Oh, this goddamn
There it
bullshit.
is.
How
Yeah.
about you read what it's telling you? But the first thing you have to go through is four pages of Spanish,
Yeah.
and
Right.
then you get to one page of English.
No, the government should stop doing it in Spanish. That would save them money on deportations.
That's true.
Yeah, but they send you Spanish first.
I know, that's bullshit.
Yeah,
I hope there's a day where when you make a phone call, first of all, you talk to a real person. And
yeah,
secondly, not press one for English or Spanish or, I don't know, Bangladesh or some shit.
Yeah.
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 I hope I could get on a phone call, a support call or something that says press one for somebody that speaks your fucking language.
Right.
Or how
Yeah.
about we bring all
I
that
did
shit
hear.
back to the United States and then only hire legal citizens, which you have an excellent chance speak probably better English than you, me, and everybody else. Well, maybe not Dave.
Yes.
Speaks pretty good English, but the rest of us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's
No.
aggravating to make these phone calls, and then you going through a whole menu of bullshit to get to where you need to go, and then it doesn't send you where you need to go when you pick your option, so you got to
No.
start all over again,
Or to hang up.
Or
or they hang up
My
on you.
wife
yeah.
gets
They,
that. I
they,
don't know why
yeah.
she
Yeah.
does,
Now.
but my wife gets that all the time. She'll be on for hold for like 40 minutes, and then somebody will talk to her for 2 seconds and it hangs up. Oh, she gets
Yeah.
pissed. I don't blame her.
Yeah. I mean, I don't mind it so much if after the 40-minute wait you explain to me calmly, rationally, and politely that you're not the right person I want to talk to. It's the 40 minutes that I wasted with you to get to the point where you tell me you're not the right person that I want to talk to.
Yeah, I
Oh,
get tired of
Yeah.
saying, excuse me, I didn't understand you, I didn't
I
understand
tell
you.
you, we had that lady from someplace, and I had to talk to her, right? And I swear to you, I'm looking at my wife on this woman speaking, and I'm just shaking my head like, what the fuck is this woman? And it was on speakerphone. So I finally told her, I said, listen, I don't understand a word you're saying. I'm going to give you back to my
Yeah.
wife. And she actually stopped for a second, didn't say anything. And it's like, I mean, I don't know what you expect, but your English is fucking horrible. And you're in a job where you're speaking to people who understand the English language.
And they're calling from an English country.
Yeah, and you're in fucking
Right.
like Ted
And,
or Janice from fucking Bangladesh or some shit. It ain't working.
Yeah, Bob from Pakistan. Yeah, his name ain't Bob.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that. I actually had somebody who was from India. I don't know who the fuck it was. Said his name was Charles.
Huh? What?
Yeah.
I like Charles I'm like, I didn't say it, but if it stopped me for a second. Like Charles from fucking India. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Because them Indians got that sing song freaking English thing going on.
Yeah,
You know,
Auntie, oh,
it's obvious that they're Indian.
yeah.
And
yeah,
it's like
Yeah.
Charles, really? Who the fuck names their kid Charles in India?
yeah. Nobody. It,
Nobody.
it it's like
Well, maybe.
the first name is 12 characters and the last name is 15.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they call themselves. They figure out two letters in the whole string and they call themselves Joe.
Yeah.
Charge $3.
You know, they got all kinds of letters mishmashed together, some that don't belong to you, like an L and a Z, and it's like, you know, Nick comes up with the name hard word, and that's a perfect way to freaking
Yeah,
describe this shit.
yeah.
No one
Uh,
knows how to pronounce that
yeah.
crap.
You talk to Ahmed Hardword, you have a problem. It's because
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's it's
Yeah.
brutal to have to talk to these people.
And you don't want to embarrass
It
them
can
because
be.
you need their help, but it's like,
Yeah,
Right.
dude, how are you supposed to help me if I can't understand you?
yeah, because that's the only place to go. Like when I
Yeah.
was working in IT at the casino, everything was offshore support for the most
Yeah.
part. Some of it was in Las Vegas, but the most part, uh, it was all offshore in India, Pakistan, wherever the hell it was, depending on what software you're calling about. And these people were just oh, treacherous to have to deal with because you just can't understand them.
Yeah.
And when you're in the midst of something that
Yeah.
you got to get done, you
You got
don't
to
have
get it done quick.
yeah, you got no
Yeah.
choice, especially if you're fixing a
Right.
machine or
Right.
you know, then of course there's the whole computer that it is, you know, whatever. But you know, I get that they know a lot of shit, but then a lot of them, I'd say probably 50% of them are just reading off a script, and then they want you to do all
Right.
the crap that you've already done. Like every time you call the cable or the internet company or something, it's like. Yes, unplug the. I've done that 85 times already. Can we
Yeah.
move to the
It,
second one? Then they'll say something like, "Well, we have to go in order, sir." I'm like,
Yeah,
"Okay, but I've done that 85
but
times. It
but
hasn't worked."
I,
yeah, and it's not my
I,
first rodeo here, so I know what you're gonna ask me,
I,
and I've done all what you're gonna ask me.
yeah,
Now send somebody to fix my fucking problem.
yeah. I got, I got so mad yesterday at one of them. Like I said, there's some kind of bug. I don't know what it is, but every once in a while, when you grab a Microsoft update, something resets your speakers
Oh,
and your
did you get
headphones,
that
and
figured out,
it
Dave?
makes them, yeah, yeah, it makes them both default devices, and you can't have that because the Micro, Microsoft understands, yeah, you have two default devices, and whichever one you're using becomes the default device. But no, the computer, because I talked to someone at Tech Class, said it's not that simple. It's that simple for Microsoft, but your idiot computer is only as smart as the idiot who is using it. And he said to me, can you have two default audio devices going at the same time? I said, well, I could. I could actually push them both so that I could have speakers, but it would mess up my podcast. And he said,
Yeah,
exactly.
just
So
exactly
what you
what I
do
told you,
is
Dave. Mm,
right. And but they don't tell you where you have to go find it. Because I said, if you stay on the line, first, I finally got mad and I said to him, I got dementia. If you stay on the line and you tell me one thing to do at a time and then confirm that I did it, we will get this thing fixed in about 35 seconds. After about 35 minutes, I finally said to the guy, the good thing about it is that eventually the computer figures out what it is, what the problem is, and it fixes it. It just means that I have to wear my headphones all the time for for 2 days until it happens. No, the guy finally told me, like I said, go in there and look. If both of them are default, pick one that's going to be the default and take the other one out as the default. Reset your computer or restart your computer, and then it'll be fine like it normally is. And I said, well, you guys made the damn thing. Why
Yeah,
can't you
well, how
fix
does
it?
it allow two devices to be default?
Yeah,
I
it won't
have
allow
no
that on
idea,
mine.
and he had no idea. I got my Motorola phone on sale because it has a bug that they have never been able to figure out. Every once in a while, it puts itself on house Wi-Fi. If you have it, it'll just turn on and put you on the house Wi-Fi. I got upset with one guy one day, and I said, it's happening, and every time I leave my house, I'm not getting phone calls. And the guy said, well, how did you figure out that you didn't have mobile data? I went to go make a phone call, and I
Well,
couldn't do
shit,
it.
my phone, even if I leave the Wi-Fi on, because I use Wi-Fi
And
all the time.
it
If I
will,
leave my
right,
house
yeah,
and it can't get a signal to my Wi-Fi, the,
it it
the
goes to
mobile
mobile
data
data.
takes over.
That's what
My,
that's what it's
Right.
supposed to do. But this wasn't
Ah,
doing that. It was just staying on Wi-Fi. It would just stay on Wi-Fi. And I said to the person, "Can you tell me how to completely disable that?" Because I said I never use the house Wi-Fi for my phone. And he said, "Why?" And I said, "Because I want to be sure I can get calls all the time." I said, "I got an 85-year-old mother in Massachusetts. I got to be able to get the call when she calls,
my phone
if she calls."
has two problems. One, I got to screw with the thing when I plug it in to charge it to get it to work.
Yeah,
So my wife called, and naturally they sent me a new charger and charged me $20 for it, which worked
Oh,
one
yeah.
time, and now it's not working at all because the port is no
yeah,
good. It's obvious. It's not like I'm a fucking expert. It's just obvious. You pull it down, put your thumb on the back, or no, you pull it down with your forefinger on the front of the phone, and it charges. You just got, and what I do is I'll plug it in here and I'll twist it until the thing is right and put it on there, and then it'll charge.
yeah, you gotta
Stay.
fix
yeah,
it just right, and
Yeah.
yeah,
And the
yeah,
other thing is, no
yeah.
matter what I do, the phone won't ring when the phone call comes in. It doesn't matter what I do. It's not on like do you know what she told me it was on do
Airplane.
not disturb.
Airplane.
It's no
Yeah,
longer on do not disturb, and I believe it's probably on do not disturb because I probably put it on do not
yeah,
disturb because I hate the
yeah,
phone and don't like
yeah,
anybody. So, but I'm still now at least I'm getting dings and pings and rings or shit for when like I get a thing here like a notification. Back when I
yeah.
was like kind of popular, I had to turn all that shit off because it would go on all fucking night long.
non-stop.
Oh my
Oh
god, it
yeah,
was horrible.
yeah.
Right
Or
now, it's
or I
pretty.
go into
It's
the
it
doctor's.
never goes off at night, so that's cool.
Yeah, I go into the doctor's office and I turn down the volume so that I don't hear it. It won't interrupt the doctor or whatever. But the only problem is, then I come back a week later, and the doctor says, "I tried to call you last Tuesday and you didn't answer."
Forgot,
And I said, "I got fucking dementia. You got to remind me before I leave the office to
dude.
turn the volume up on my ringer, or I won't know until the next time I look at it."
Hey,
Don't you have a
I've
little
I've
thing on
done
the
that
side of the
a
phone you
million
can turn
times.
the ringer on and off?
There probably is. There probably is, but I just turned the volume down.
Well,
Yeah,
well,
That's all I do.
there's a button to put it on vibrate to turn the ringer off.
Okay.
Somewhere
yeah,
in
but
your
I can't hear the
So,
vibrate.
yeah,
So I and
yeah.
if listen when I feel like working around a property, the phone's on the porch, so that don't matter.
well, I have a holster for my phone on my
Yeah.
hip, so it'll vibrate, and then I know something
I
happened.
have
Well,
it in my pocket when I go somewhere, and I can't even feel vibrating when it's in my pocket.
I
So I don't know what the deal there is.
And
I remember the first phone I got. It was a flipper phone thing,
yep.
and I was
yep,
driving home from the cell phone place, and I had it in between my legs on my seat,
Oh,
and I
oh,
got a call, and it vibrated, and I go, whoa!
the the
I didn't
people
know
in the
what the hell it
office,
was. You know?
the people in
yeah.
the office were
Whoa,
so
Nelly.
people in the California office were so happy that I went to iPhones for them, that they thought it would be funny because I was asleep on the couch in my office. They thought it would be funny to gently put their iPhones on me all over. Oh, that's an alarm, but they gently put their iPhones on me without waking me up, and then someone went and called my my number from one of the iPhones, linked another iPhone linked through the other ones, and I told them never do that again. And they said, why? And I said, because first thing tomorrow morning, 2 of you will have Androids because I broke your iPhones by picking them up as I was shaking violently and threw them against
Nice,
the wall.
Dave. That's
Yeah, I said, please don't ever. Well,
no, I'd have done
I
worse
had
than
very
that,
smart.
Dave. I'd take a baseball bat to
I
both
had
of them
very
and their phones.
Yeah, well, I had very smart people working for me. I said, don't stand up in the toilet, next to the toilet or the urinal in a men's room with your phone in your hand.
Oh
And people would
yeah,
say, why? Because
yeah.
I would say you're going to drop it and it's going to short circuit and it's not under warranty. And if they open it up and see water damage, they will not give me a new one for you. And the person said, well, what do I get? I said, that's why I got a drawer of Android
Well,
phones.
I actually did that once, Dave, and it was a very sinking feeling as I watched it fall from my hand. This is years and years and years ago.
Yeah.
Right in the toilet. I threw another one into a bucket of soapy water once. I didn't. It's like I'm watching it go, and it's like fuck. I never. Right.
One of my nephews had to be like, I don't know, 4, maybe 2, maybe 3. But he was so excited that I had come over to visit. He came running in. My sister said he's in the bathroom. Came running in, and he managed to bump the phone hard enough off of my waist and landed in the toilet. And
Oh
I knew it was
damn.
toast at that point anyway. But we spent 15 minutes. I was looking at him going, well, you knocked it off my waist. You reach in and get
Well,
it.
yeah. That's. I remember I left it on the hood of my truck one time and found it in the middle
Yeah.
of Atlantic
Oh,
Boulevard and Dixie Highway. I had to go back, pull off to the side of the road, walk into the
yeah.
middle of a busy intersection to pick up my phone. There are people beeping and laughing at
Yeah.
me and shit.
I,
And one guy's
I
like
had done,
waving, like, "Yeah,
I
I
did,
know." So yeah, that's
I did that with phones. I was notorious for walking out of Dunkin' Donuts and putting the coffee on the roof of the car, and then just get in the car, start
coffee
the
costs
engine, and
$2,
leave.
Dave. Phone
And then,
costs a lot more.
well, I didn't do it with I didn't do it with the phone. I did do it with phones once, but they just slid off the back and land. I heard them slide off the roof and land on the trunk. The Dunkin' Donuts, what broke the habit was that the cup was sitting in the center of the roof, and it came down and spilled all over the windshield. And I'm going,
Well,
I
I
gotta go
did the
back and get
same
another cup of
thing.
coffee.
I put it on top of the roof, but I had just bought this Dunkin' Donuts thermos type cup, with the handle
Yeah,
and everything. Put it on the
yeah,
roof, pulled out, fell on the ground, broke the handle, could never, for some reason, find the lid. Don't know where it went. It was gone. Like it was sucked into a vortex. And that
yeah,
thing is still, I believe, in my truck, that cup, full of pens and stuff, because that's all it was good for. And the pens,
yep,
I'm sure by now, they're
yeah,
probably 20 years old, so they're no good. I don't know. They actually some detailing
yeah,
brushes in there still. It's in the back in this thing I got.
yeah,
So but yeah, that really sucks. But it is what it is, and sometimes it happens. I guess I don't know. But we all let's see. We got
yes.
Robert Lawless is here, and
Is he?
who else we got? Jimmy Collins showed up.
Gene Scott just,
Obviously, you see Jane there. She's been here since the very beginning. Uh,
yeah,
oh,
Gene
Larry
Scott.
Estes
Yeah,
is here also.
Jane, Jane saved us tonight while Chuck and I were having a discussion over whether or not we were going to charge everyone who was going to be late a fine tonight. And I said no because Jerry said that he was going to
Oh,
be
William
late.
Grant too.
Uh, Jen Woodruff told me at about 4 o'clock this morning that she could not be here because it was a relative's funeral, and she and Jesse were responsible for picking up other relatives and driving them to the funeral. And I said, well, that in that case, no. I jokingly said, no fine, no nothing, just because it's more important to spend the day with your family than it is to spend
Uh,
spend the day
she
with
told
this
me she
family.
had family in
But
town, and I told her that's why you lock them in the garage so they won't bother us at the show. And
well,
she hasn't
well,
gotten back to me on that one. I don't know.
no, I just well then there was something else I said to her because I get invited into so many groups on Facebook that are not political that I have to wonder. I always wonder how they found me. I got invited the other day into a group of fishing memes,
Yeah,
and because I happened to see her on, she had just posted in one of the groups at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I said to her at 4 o'clock in the morning, send this, give this link to Jesse, and tell me he might like it because, like I said, I'm looking at my computer, I'm looking at my phone, and I'm going fishing memes. Okay, how they
yeah,
take
and
it?
then like
How
they
do they
send you
think?
friend people to check out.
Yeah,
No mutual friends, no nothing.
Yeah, just somebody you may
yeah,
know. Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like, how am I
But
supposed to know this person? I mean, I realize this country is relatively big, and
but
if he's a prince in Ethiopia,
yeah.
I definitely don't know him or want to.
Well, my father passed away
Oh,
five. No, it'll be 6 years in December, and his birthday is April 13th. And when I looked at my phone this morning, I misread the 10 and I thought it was 13. And I know Dad's not here anymore, but traditionally I would always go on his birthday to his two Facebook pages and wish him happy birthday. And the only reason he had two was he couldn't remember the password to the other one, and he didn't know what to do to try to get his account back or change his password. Log on, prove it was him, and change his password. So he just set up another account. And then I found out, I guess in 2012, someone cloned his account, and the cloned account is still there.
wow.
So it was like who the hell if I write Facebook and say my father passed away 6 years ago and it looks like his account was cloned in 2012. Can you get rid of the clone? And the only reason I didn't do it was I was too afraid that they would get rid of his other two accounts.
Yeah.
So I wrote two of my sister's mail and said, I can get by not being all of a sudden not being my father's friend on Facebook because Dad didn't use it very often. So, but I can't. Someone I hope is watching his two accounts because he's been cloned, and you know, so hopefully one of my sisters checked it. And if she didn't, then I'll do it. I'll
Yeah.
do it later.
Don't don't
Because
get all worked
I
up about it, Dave. It's
no. Well, they look for accounts. They call them ghost accounts. They look for someone who hasn't used their Facebook account in a million years. Well, Dad hasn't used his Facebook account in probably 1,000,005 years because for the last 3 years of his life, he was in and out of rehab before they put him in hospice, and then you know
yeah.
he he really didn't like it. He taught as an adjunct or whatever guest professor at a college that had hospitality courses, and that was his life's work. And he kept it so that he could be in touch with different students that he had, but he really didn't use it much. He didn't like it. Uh, but like I said,
Hmm.
not being his friend, I could get away with, but nobody realizing that his account had been cloned in all this time.
Wow, that's a lot of views, Tina. Whew.
Yeah. But anyway, what's Tina saying?
Her son's YouTube's account is still up since he's been gone. It
Yep.
has 1 million views or more by now. Yeah.
Oh
Wow.
wow!
Wow.
That means whatever he was whatever he was doing with it, people must
Yeah.
love.
Absolutely.
Who are we
my
talking
God.
about?
Tina's son.
Tina Scott, her son. It didn't show up on. It has. It's one of those comments tonight that never made it to the restream, thing, so that I can't. So I can't post. So I can't. I can't share it.
Well, what got a
Really
million
bothered.
views? Yeah, I know.
Tina's
What
son.
post?
I don't know. I don't know. I honestly
Okay,
don't know.
that's cool. Well, now I gotta look
It
this
just
up.
says.
You're killing me with
Yeah,
that.
it just says my son's YouTube is still up.
What was his name, Tina?
And since he's been gone, it has 1 million views or more by now. So yeah, whatever he had on it,
What was the name of
did
the
very well.
What was the name of the account on YouTube?
Yeah.
That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah, Tim, you should let us know, because it's very hard to people on it. His best friend told me about it. Well, if you don't mind, Tina, you should post the the name of the channel, because
Yeah.
everybody goes and watches YouTube at least 1 million times a day, and things that you don't think would get 1 million views all of a sudden have 1 million subscribers. Don and I were watching a YouTube of a crocheter who announced that she has 700,000 subscribers and averages almost all of that for every YouTube she puts out. And I'm thinking, what the hell am I doing wrong? I've been on YouTube for like 6 years now, posting all of my broadcasts, and I think I have 32 subscribers.
Oh,
Okay.
very
She's gonna
popular.
look it. She's gonna look it up. Yeah.
You're very popular, Dave.
Well, I used to get trolls that would come and show up every once in a while in the YouTube live chat. But
Oh, those are the only ones that ever commented on my
yeah,
on Rumble. It was these guys that were going to make me a millionaire on the internet. On YouTube, it was guys that wanted to send me to a relaxing site where naked women were.
oh God,
Damn. What was the name of the site? No, I'm just kidding.
I
leavethehellalone.com.
never clicked on it because I was always worried it would cause a problem. But
Yeah,
Yep.
you're like, okay, you're all excited. Somebody finally comments, and then that's it. It's like, okay.
yeah.
After a while, it's like, yeah, whatever.
I only did it because I only set up YouTube because I wanted, as I keep saying, I wanted someplace where all the broadcasts, or a good portion of them, would be, just in case something ever happened and they weren't on Facebook anymore. Plus, I didn't want people to share them from Facebook off of Facebook. I just never wanted that. So I always say, if you wanted to share it off of Facebook, go to the Boogie with a Boom YouTube channel. And
I don't care where they share it. Nobody shares it, so off of YouTube, off of Facebook anyway. So I
no,
don't really give a shit.
for me, they don't. There were a couple of people that there were a couple of people 3 or 4 years ago that used to go to YouTube afterwards and take it and do that and share it. And for a while, I was actually sharing it live from YouTube on Street Lock, and then I forgot to do it a bunch of times, and then I forgot to do it a bunch more times, and then
Yeah.
that is actually my next project, to do it how JJ McCartney, Jen's friend and one of my mentors, did it. He got up every morning, put on a pot of coffee, set up his studio. At around 5 o'clock in the morning, he would send the YouTube link to he come over to Facebook and post the YouTube link in like 500 or 600 groups. I mean, this was back when you could share like 150 at one time, but he didn't do that. He went into each group and manually posted. It took him
I
like
did
four,
that.
it took him like 4 or 5 hours to do it, and
I
he did it
would,
because he had the following to do it. I just couldn't. I
I would only join groups that had huge numbers, and then I would put it in the
yeah.
groups. I don't know if it worked or not. You used to be able to invite all your friends. You just
Yeah.
go make an event, and then they would say invite everybody, and you do. And then you moved on. And that was at the
Yeah.
time over 3,000. And then they
Yeah.
stopped letting you do that. Now you're lucky you can share it to 20 fucking people.
Well,
Right.
it used to be I could share anybody's broadcast, not even just mine, to 150 groups, and I could just go down the list, hit 150 groups that I knew wanted it, and boom, hit hit post, and it
You
went
got
to
to
those
do it really slow if
it
you're
went
going to
to
do it that way.
150 groups, and now I'm allowed 10 at a time, and
You
so
got to do it really slow if you're going to do it that way. I mean,
well
like hit
they
one and then hit another one.
yeah
Otherwise,
well
say
they
you're a
they
bad
re,
person for using the
they re,
stuff they give you to share. Uh, but
they restricted me to 10 at a time. So in order for me to send 150, I have to do 15, 10 group shares. And, again, I got dementia. I can't remember how to do that,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know.
Yeah,
Uh,
I have a YouTube account, a login, but I
yeah,
never created
yeah,
a channel, so to speak, because
Well,
I don't think I'm that
yeah.
fucking interesting to,
I, well, I
to get
actually,
anything.
I actually have two. I actually have two channels. I've never done anything with the other one because when I joined, I I joined as Dave Glovin. So I have a Dave Glovin YouTube channel, which I've never used it for anything. There's nothing posted on it. Then I have the Boogie with the Bull
I have.
that does have so.
I've had
Uh,
probably close to 5,000 videos taken down on YouTube, and most of them, the biggest one was the one with that one that went viral. Somebody finally watched it, or it was buried under like hundreds and hundreds or thousands, whatever, of videos.
yeah, yeah.
And somebody, I guess, finally watched it. It was one of the first videos I ever made, so whatever that tells you. And yeah, and then I've had four accounts on YouTube. I'm on my fourth one now. X, I've had five. I'm on my fifth one now. And and the last time they
I
kicked me off, they didn't even tell me why.
hmm.
I don't I don't want anybody to get mad at me who is watching or anyone who's here on tonight's panel. But you know what? I really don't like it anymore. It's just it's not it's not it didn't go full blown conservative like I thought it would go. The the non conservatives are just vicious. I log on every day and somebody selling something has me linked on a post of theirs, like I am endorsing whatever they they are selling, and there's no customer support number, so
You
I
block them. You,
activated Grok. No, I activated Grok and explain to Grok that I know that you're an AI and you're an AI for X. I just need some help because I can't call
block them.
anybody.
They,
And of course, his
you block
response was,
them. Can't do
well,
that.
you can block that. That's what he said. He said you can block the person. And I said, I don't have any problem with
Okay,
the
Dave, if they're
person
doing
and
this,
what
then
they're
you have a problem with the person. Block.
okay. Well, the problem that I had with one of them is that I'm not interested in the product that one person is selling. So it was like, and I had contacted the person and just said, stop, stop, stop making it look like Boogie with the Bull, Boogie WT Bull endorses your product
How did
because
that
I
work?
don't. Matter of fact, it works so good that I found there are like 5 other products that the same guy has that I now am
Yeah.
endorsing.
That
Not,
time.
So
no, Dave,
so
you're
I
not
so I would
endorsing them.
I
Okay, you are on your. If it's on your page, you're helping him advertise.
no, it's not on my page. It's on posts that he's putting
But that
in
doesn't mean you're
the
endorsing them. That just means you're helping him advertise. Is all that is. Block his
okay
ass. If you don't want
okay.
to see that
That's
shit and
what
it's making you this uptight, you have a problem with him because he's the one doing it.
but yeah. The only reason that I have an issue is that I've got like 1,600 followers, and I think I
Oh
follow
Jesus,
almost
who gives a
3,200.
fuck? Just get rid of him.
But I just don't.
So lose one. Then you got 1,599.
Right. No. I understand that. It was a good amount of the people who
Dave,
follow me
Dave,
were
you're
messaging
muddling
me
this.
going,
Dave,
"Do
listen,
you
Dave,
do you have anything to do with
Dave,
this guy?" And it was like,
Dave,
"No, I
you're
don't."
muddling this. He's
You're,
not worth it.
you're
It doesn't
overthinking this.
matter
Okay.
how many followers you have. You're never gonna have 10 million. So get rid of the guy.
No, look, no, it wasn't. Okay, it wasn't about
And
not
you're not
having 10
making the
million. It
revenue that
was
he's
having the.
making off of the
It
ads
was
that he's
having the
putting
two.
on your
Right,
site.
right. Right. It was the 200 messages that came to me saying, "Do you know that this is going on?" And I said, "No." And then I found out it is going on and I can't stop it. But if blocking it stops it,
Dave,
then
if you block the
I will
person,
block
they
I will
can't
block the
tag you
guy.
in anything. They can't see anything you do, and you can't see anything they do.
Okay. Well, I don't care. Yeah, I don't care about him seeing anything I
Okay,
do
well that's
or
how
you
it
seeing
works,
anything
Dave.
he
That's all
does.
I can
I
tell you.
just
You're driving me. Dave,
I just
Dave.
don't
I
want him
swear to
to
God, you're
tag.
like my wife. You overcomplicate the crap out of everything. All you have to do is block them, and all that shit stops immediately. That's
Okay.
it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
just like
don't blame
Facebook.
you because
Okay.
that shit pisses me off too, but nobody does that to me. Because I don't really interact with a lot of people except the really stupid ones. And they're not
Yeah.
friends of mine, so it doesn't matter. They're usually
Yeah.
other comments or something. Or that hairy sissy boy guy. I hate him. God, I hate that kid. That kid I feel bad for, actually. You
Yeah.
want to know why? He sold his soul for money, and he will never forgive himself at some point in his fucking life for doing that.
Harry Sissy Boy. Who's that?
Harry Sisson is,
Yeah.
well, first of all, if you look at him, he looks like a homo. He's a
Yeah.
young kid.
Yeah.
He gets paid by the DNC or somebody
Yeah. Somebody.
to,
Yeah.
I don't know,
Irritate
well, it's
conservatives.
one of these deals where he says the stupidest shit about Trump, and then he says like when Joe Biden was in office how wonderful he was, and it's like you go
Yeah.
through his comments, nobody's on his fucking side. Okay, he's kind of
Okay.
like David Hogg. You know who that is? David
Who?
Hogg, the kid from Parkland. Yeah,
Yeah. 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 He's the vice. He's the
yeah.
vice chair now, and I hope in 2026 in the midterms they lose every seat they have and don't get any more. And in 2028, I will do everything I have to do, if I can still do it, to make sure that J.D. Vance or whoever the Republican is gets elected.
Okay. Well, anyway, that's who Sissy Boy is, and I often ask these people because it really, it's almost like to me, it's not the truth, but it's almost like it is. And I asked them this simple question: does it hurt to be this stupid?
Yeah.
It has. It
I
has
mean,
to.
it has
It
to
has
hurt.
to.
Okay, it has
It
to
has to
something. But
hurt.
this kid is right now thinking his shit don't stink because he's making a lot of money doing this shit. But someday he's going to realize this, and it's going to rot his soul's going to be so fucking rotted. It's going to be too late. And the
Yep.
Democrats,
And,
they don't give a shit. They don't. And he is like he's kind of like the example of all these liberals that are like just so I don't know if it's dumb or just fucking lazy that they won't actually like look shit up. I see a lot of these walk away people from walk away from the Democrats, and they get on and they admit, yeah, I was a Democrat, voted for Obama, blah blah blah, and then Trump came along, and my like this morning I saw my husband, voted for Trump, and he said I was batshit crazy, and so I started paying attention and found out he was right. That's somebody who's
Yeah,
willing to change. These other ones are. It's like you're rotting your
yeah.
soul at this young an age. I don't know if you can get that back one time you're 30 or 40.
They have to be getting. They have to be on the source payroll somewhere and getting
Well,
money.
only
And
like
if it's that,
Brooklyn Dad, you know who Brooklyn Dad is?
not off the top of
He's
my head.
very famous, has been for years. He
Okay.
doesn't even live in Brooklyn anymore. And he's
Okay.
got he's an arrogant motherfucker. And, they just make, it's just like, for instance, tariffs. Oh my God, well, the economy is going to crash. Oh, and this was trending on Twitter, the next Great Depression and all this other
Oh
bullshit.
God.
And that was last week. And look at now, because nobody can,
Yeah.
give. Listen, had Obama done things for the country that were good, well, Joe never had a chance. But if Obama would have, okay, I could have lived with that part of it. Some of the shit he did,
Okay.
if he would have done most of the shit he did was doing shit for the country, I could have lived with it. All right, I may not have liked him, I may not or anything, but I could have lived with what he did as president. He didn't do anything for the country. All
No.
right,
Well,
and
except try to
so
destroy it.
yeah, now we got a guy who's doing nothing but,
Right.
generally speaking. I mean, he's got to deal with shit overseas and everything, but look at all he's done for America, and the goddamn Americans are pissed at him. We're
Yeah.
not talking
Yeah.
about the Hamassos in the colleges and
Right.
shit.
No.
We're talking
Yeah.
about actual Americans, born,
Yeah.
raised, everything here.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah. People. People are angry at. I can't handle this on Facebook where I spend most of my life. Everybody knows that. But I get into chats with people who are, your president is a terrible guy. He gave Elon Musk everybody's social security number so that Elon Musk could thumb through them. And I said, no, Elon Musk didn't even bother messing with your stupid social security number. He went straight for what he was looking for. But
Yeah.
he went straight for what he was looking for. He found it. He has it. What he's done with it seems to be what he's supposed to do. Congress is so upset that they didn't do it. And it's like my fear, I actually said to somebody today, is it's not that Elon Musk is going to leave the end of May when his time is up. It's not hoping he decides to stay for another 133 days, because I don't think he will. And if I had to give him advice, I would actually say don't, because you need to get back to the helm of your two largest investments, Tesla and SpaceX, and go to town on a bunch of crap, because Tesla stock is taking a dump, and all of that stuff. But wondering who is going to fill those shoes.
Well, that is a problem actually, 'cause, that
You
job is
know,
now, if he wanted it, that job is him. Um,
yeah,
you know, and people are used to him, at least on our
yeah,
side, uh, and they'll be
yeah,
thrilled when he goes back, and maybe they'll stop wrecking these cars that he has nothing to do with.
yeah.
Yeah, I gotta tell
Right.
you, the shit they do does it doesn't even
Childish.
it doesn't make sense, because what the hell the Nick buys a fucking Tesla and they wreck his Tesla somehow. What the hell does Elon Musk have to do with that? Nick's the one paying for it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Elon's
nothing.
already got his
Yep.
money.
Elon doesn't know me from
Yep.
Adam,
Yeah.
shit from
Right.
Shinola. But I
Yep.
saw a post today or a meme said Elon needs to buy a Harley.
Yeah, I saw that.
Y'all see that?
No, they want him to they want him to buy
No, and
Harley.
park it in.
I guess is what I
No,
heard.
buy a Harley, and then everybody's gonna go to biker bars and start
Yeah,
Yeah,
vandalizing
that'll
the
go
bi-
well. Yeah,
the
yeah,
Harleys and see
yeah,
what happens
yeah.
to them.
yeah.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
you don't go into a biker bar and do anything
No,
stupid. Like don't ever go into a biker bar dressed in a tuxedo to pick up
no,
two of your favorite clients because they're going to be at a biker bar and he's not going to be able to drive himself home. So, he's going to call to have
yeah,
you go up and get him. They
yeah.
were up in Maine.
I've been into a
And
biker bar, and coolest guys you ever met in your life.
uh,
As
oh, yeah,
lo-
until you walk in
as
dressed in a
yeah, you
tuxedo.
just walk off the
They
street
wanted to
in
know
your
who
Go to a
normal
died.
biker bar
clothes.
in a tuxedo, Dave.
Yeah,
Well, I was going,
You
I
did,
didn't
Dave,
know
didn't you?
that it
You
was a
did.
bike. I did because I didn't know it was a biker bar
Couldn't
until I
tell from
got
all
you
the
didn't
there.
know
motorcycles
from all the
parked out front.
bikes.
I knew when I got there that it was. I mean, I knew where the bar was. I didn't know that it was a biker bar because the guy had called me and I said, "That's the one. You go down the street and it curves to the right, and there's a big bar right there on the. There's a big bar right there in the middle of the street." He said, "Yeah." So I didn't know that it was a biker bar. I just knew that's where the bar was. So I figured, okay, it might be fun to show up to pick him and his wife up, dressed, in a nice Lincoln Town car, wearing wearing a tuxedo. I just thought it would be
Yeah.
cute.
How'd that
So
go?
I did it. Until I realized
I
walking
thought
into
you were a
I'm
mobster.
looking at this biker bar and now I'm looking at this biker bar and going, I gotta go inside and find them. So I open the door, I walk in, and I hear someone yell, "Who died?" And then I heard David, don't answer, don't say anything, just keep walking straight back toward you hear my voice.
Yeah, Dave, I got
Uh,
to tell you, you have
you
been in
had
a lot of
balls.
situations you had no business being in.
I've had a lot of fun with some of them. Like I got sent at the last minute. I got sent at the last minute to pick up Tommy Hilfiger, who was coming to town to talk to Stride Right because I think some of his stuff is licensed to Stride Right. And I got called at the last minute because the company that Stride Right was using said Stride Right called and said we can't get a car. Very important guy. I said, who is it? They said, Tommy Hilfiger. And they said, he hates every driver that we have ever sent them. So if you do if you do well, you'll end up with the Stride Right account. So I said, oh, okay, piece of cake. So I get there. It's a private jet airport. They let me pull onto the tarmac where his jet is going to pull up. So I do that. They pull up, the doors open. I see Tommy walking down the steps. I put my arm up so he knows which car to come to. And I start walking up to him, and he looks at me and he goes, "That is the most fucking ugliest suit I have ever seen in my entire
Tommy, hook
life.
me up.
The designer should go back to fashion school and learn how to do things right. Do you know who it was?" And I looked at him and I said, "This is going to get me into a hell of a lot of trouble. I have probably blown the Stride Right account." And I looked at him and I said, "This is your suit because you're one of my favorite designers," which was true. And he said, "You and I are going to get along very well." And I did because I got that account and I
I'd
made
have told him
boatload of money.
it's the suit that you're going to walk to and tell the guy that yourself because I'm leaving. Have a good day.
No, well, okay. I, I, I was known as the guy who made the small guy who made a lot of money in the big business because I knew how to treat
I
people
do too.
well, and
I
you
treat
know,
others as they treat
and
me, Dave.
Right, but Tommy was joking. He said, he said to me, I was joking. He said he knew it was his suit when he saw me, but he was just going to see what happened. And I said, well, for what you thought was going to happen, that's why Mom said you always keep a clean pair of underwear in the trunk with your with a spare suit.
Okay.
So,
Your mom said that.
But no,
okay.
but yeah.
So it worked out okay, though, right? I mean,
Dave.
It did work out. It did work out. Okay.
I'm learning a lot about you tonight, Dave.
I don't know. Uh, the only problem was in situations like that where somebody would call and say, "We need you to do something for us," and if it works out well, you will continue doing stuff for us. That's how I had done Oracle. But when the person at Oracle got back and talked to Larry Ellison and didn't say that he was going back to Waltham, they just said, "I'm going out to San Jose, California. Can you recommend someone?" My phone rings and it's Larry Ellison. And he's going, "Are you still in San Jose?" I said, "No, I'm in Massachusetts now." And got a ton of work from them until it was time for me to retire and somebody stole it from me.
Oh, okay.
That's how that stuff goes. But anyway, the badge of honor. Robert Lawler says the badge of honor.
I have a question. Whatever happened to Miss Greta? Little Miss Let's Save the Planet. You don't hear nothing from her. Did they're done using her now or what?
I guess David Hogg gave her ass up, threw her to the curb.
Yeah.
She is still doing protests, but she's not doing them here.
No, she's not the cute little girl.
She was never cute. That was an ugly little bitch. I'm sorry.
I know.
The only bitch I ever seen could tell a crowd it's their fault and how dare you, and they clap like seals for her.
Yeah, and then she gets on a jet to fly back to wherever. Yeah.
The one who is going to do very well, and he looks like a God-fearing Republican right now, is Agent DJ Daniel, who is the kid that Trump introduced.
Yes.
Yeah. I saw a video the other day, Jerry. He was here in Florida, and he got to meet Sheriff Graydon down in Polk County. Who he's now an honorary.
I'm over it now. Everybody's getting on the bandwagon. Is all that shit is. The president doing it. That's just downhill from there. I don't really care.
Well,
the kid's alive. Don't get me wrong. I'm sad. And I'm glad his father's all right, and I respect them both for what they went through and everything. But this seems to be a bit much. Everybody's trying to get on the bandwagon, giving this kid something. And after all of that, he's not a cop or a Secret Service agent or an FBI agent or anything else. He's just got a bunch of shit to put on his wall and brag about, which is fine for a kid that age. Don't get me wrong, but he seems now to be making money off it.
Yeah, Sheriff Grady told him when he turns 18, come down here and he'll put him to work. But I don't know if that will happen. But the ballsiest thing evidently was the day after the speech, he was in the Oval Office with President Trump, and I guess Elon Musk came in and he got introduced to Elon, and they were talking back and forth, and I guess Elon asked him if there was anything he could do for him. The kid had to steal what I just said and to the cyber truck, and lo and behold.
Yep. Elon gave him a cyber truck.
I hope they don't park it anywhere.
I've seen those trucks. I could not possibly have less interest in having one than I do. Mm-hmm. Is there anything like less than zero?
It's uglier than shit.
Holy crap, that thing's ugly.
I call it the Cybertruck BC. No, yeah.
My grandson calls them battery packs.
I call it the Cybertruck BCU. Crack ugly. Because the only thing I've been waiting for is to see someone drive up in one, get out of it, hit a button, and it folds up into George Jetson's briefcase.
That still would not
honestly
impress me
swear.
about that truck. None of them cars do anything. It's like it doesn't have a soul. I mean, you put that next to a GTO or even a Chevy fucking Nova back in the day when they used to get them and put something strong in them. It got no
Yeah.
soul.
Right.
It just
Yeah,
rides down the road damn near silently until it runs out of battery, and then you're fucked on the highway.
yeah.
I don't, and the people who drive them, I don't agree with anyone who fucks their car up, but they're this close to deserving it.
You know what I found out?
If you
The
hit it,
Cybertruck can actually charge itself.
that's what
It's
I've
got
heard.
these plugs in the back that you run the card and you plug it into the charger, and it's crazy how that works because you tap
Yeah,
you
like a
you tap
generator.
that thing on the side of the back fender and the door opens and you plug it in and the truck charges itself
Huh.
because
Yeah,
it has
yeah,
reserve batteries in it.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't care. That doesn't impress me.
No, it doesn't impress me
You want to know
either.
why? Because I can go to the gas station and literally fill up my tank in my truck, just my truck, in I don't know, less than 10 minutes easily. Okay, like 6, 7 minutes, and then drive away
Yep.
instead of sitting there for 4 hours, living off of I don't know, Snicker bars and the Diet Pepsis from the convenience
Yeah,
store, that kind of thing, and I got no interest whatsoever. Now I can tell you
If
this. I don't care who buys them. I really don't. And if we had the
right,
infrastructure and the technology, as Nick just said, to have them recharge themselves, and
yeah,
they get 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years out of the battery, then it would be to me worth it. Well, I wouldn't buy one,
Right.
but right now the battery goes as you're driving that car in 2, 3, 4 years you want to trade it in, you get nothing for it because the battery is old and it's not
right.
holding the charge like it used to.
Yeah,
And the battery costs more
yeah,
than the damn car does.
and it's a lithium
right.
ion battery, and it has full charge until it dies. It's just like a weed eater or anything else that has lithium ion batteries. That you get a battery
Yeah,
operated weed eater or whatever.
Yep.
That thing will work nonstop till it
Until it's
dies.
over and then it's just dead.
until it
Yep,
doesn't.
Yep,
that's
Yeah,
exactly right.
and that's what these cars do. No, my gas powered vehicles, you know, my gas gauge will tell me exactly when I need to pull over and get gas,
Yeah.
and fill it up and go another 400, 500 miles,
Yeah,
whatever.
I get about 450 miles out of a tank. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. The mileage has to go way up. Well, I mean, I'm not
Technology
driving
and the
anymore, so I
infrastructure
probably wouldn't
needs
buy
to
one
be
anyway.
better than it is. Now, I'll grant you they're just
Yeah,
starting, and it probably will get better. And someday, long after we're dead, the George Jetson thing will happen, like Dave said, and all that. But I'll be happy I'm dead because I got to tell you, there's nothing better than the sound of a good engine running properly, and I'm sorry. I don't care about progress. I don't care about all that stupid bullshit, technology and all that crap. If I want technology, I can add it on anytime I want.
Right.
Like
Yeah,
backup cameras and that kind of bullshit. I have no problem with that. But give me something with an end. Now, the one I currently have, I'm not happy with, but eventually I am going to be
right.
happy with it. I'm hoping in the next few days. Again, because it'll be nice to be able to, I don't know, leave. But then I can't get an electric car, come here and plug it in anywhere at my house. It's not
Mm-hmm.
like I can just tap into the 110 and have it charge up. I'll burn the house down or something,
Right.
and
all you all
also pay a $900
See,
electric bill.
all you have to. you have to remodel your house, so to speak, to get a whole
Yep.
new circuit and everything that will be able to charge these batteries.
Yep.
I mean,
Yep.
it's not worth it.
The the only thing that I have seen that saved it was I saw a video. I think the guy was out in California and he left his Tesla. It wasn't a Cybertruck, but he left his Tesla parked in the garage, and it spontaneously combusted. He had his garage ring camera on it, just watching it, so that he could call and see. And I guess it just spontaneously combusted, no apparent reason. It went up. He had an old, really nice Mercedes. He lost that because it went boom, and then it just took that out and burnt it. It didn't go up because he had put a thick cement like firewall in the top of the garage, so it didn't go up and take his house out.
Oh,
But
oh yeah.
he lost everything in the garage.
There's been so many warnings about the EV cars, regardless of what they
Spontaneous,
are, regardless of who
yeah,
makes them.
spontaneous pop.
They say do not park them near your
In,
house because the lithium ion batteries will basically explode,
Spontaneously,
spontaneously
yeah,
That's why I
explode.
keep all mine literally in the house so they're not out in the heat all the fucking time, and so forth. Now, it sounds dangerous keeping them in the house, but at least the air conditioning and the heat also keep them generally stable. All
yeah,
right.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
they don't wear out as fast either, although it's only by a few months.
yeah.
yeah,
Um,
And also like the EV bicycles, they
yeah,
say
they'll burn up too.
yeah,
do
Yeah.
not charge that in your house because they've been having multiple incidences
yeah,
of people bring their electric bike into their or scooter or
yeah,
whatever into their house and charge it because they may not have an outlet outside or whatever, and the damn thing explodes while charging and sets the fucking house on fire.
yeah, you got to
Yep.
continuously check stuff like that and like make sure it's not getting hot. If it's hot to the touch, you
yeah,
need to unplug it because
Yes.
that's not a good sign. It's either a bad connection or it's just the battery itself is, about to make your life miserable. I mean, I remember the
yeah,
bicycles. First time I ever saw a guy who had a lawnmower engine on his freaking bicycle. And I look at this guy like that. Here's a guy who can't drive, and that, you know, looking at him, you kind of tell why. All
Mm,
right, but this guy came up with this, and he just rides like a motorcycle, kind of, but not. And he can go. I mean, I would imagine you can have backup gas tanks on a bicycle. You probably go 5, 10 miles on one tank of gas. And how much is it going to cost to refill that day? How they lawnmower gas tank, is like half a gallon.
yeah,
And then the
yeah,
backup tank is going to be like a fucking water bottle or something until so you can get to the next gas station. How much is that going to cost you?
yeah.
And the only thing you're really wearing out is the tires. So just have a few extra. It's fine. I saw a
It,
guy with a wheelchair, hand to God, pulling an 8-foot trailer.
yeah.
damn.
What?
Yeah, with a
Well,
mower and shit on
Yeah,
the trailer. Just he souped up his freaking. He put an
yeah,
engine on his freaking wheelchair.
wow.
yeah.
This is this guy.
I've seen it.
This is the guy I want to hang out with because he's a genius. He came up with
Yeah,
this, and he had found a fucking way. And I gotta tell you, I love that shit. I really,
I want that. I want that chair.
yeah,
Yeah,
me too.
and I like the I don't know about all of you guys, but we have all these bike riders that obviously don't do shit for nothing,
Okay.
and they're all
Yep.
over the place riding and riding and riding, and well, a lot of them have these electric bikes. I'm like, how in the hell do you afford that shit? How
Probably
did
get
you
it from
get
the
that?
government.
Where did you steal that from
Yeah.
in the first place? Because and the majority of them, I see them at like the local uh, casinos and shit. Like you're on a bike and you're gambling. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
That's probably how he bought. That's probably
Well,
how
them
he
things
bought it.
Probably
ain't cheap. I was going to
no.
Gainesville and I saw one sitting on the sidewalk. Said, "What idiot leaves their shit in the sidewalk?" And my wife told me it's probably a rental because you have to put a card in to pay, and then they rent it for the amount of time you use, and then it charges the card, and you just leave it where the hell you are. That's like, what kind of
Yeah,
business is that where your shit's everywhere but where you can see
But
it?
yeah, but a lot of
I'm
these
not.
guys,
Yeah,
it kind of reminds me if you watch the Mexican people when they hop up their cars and they do all kind of crazy shit to their cars, the old cars. Well, these people have these elaborate bicycles, and I'm like, where'd you get the money? Your ass is living on the street basically. So
Hmm.
where'd you get the money to do all this shit and buy this bicycle? This elaborate bicycle, and they got, you
on the
know,
Visa card, on the
trailers on
Visa
the
card they
back.
got when they entered
Yeah,
illegal.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
Yep, Dave, right. Yep.
you know,
yeah, it's
and
crazy.
they don't have to pay back whatever they buy with that card either.
well, it's like
They
when
just
we were
Yeah,
here's,
kids. Where'd these
here's a
kids
card
get
with
the money to
unlimited
hop
amount of
up
money
their
on it.
cars? Well, most of them are selling pot. And because most of them had jobs just like the rest of us, dishwashers or McDonald's or shit like that. Okay, so and we all know I made like $100 a week. I think it was $98.98 a week. That's what I brought home. So it wasn't enough, barely to buy a battery for the vehicle. So you had to buy something for your car. I took a huge chunk out of your Friday and Saturday night money. All right, so they had to be selling drugs. So, I mean, because they're buying parts that, even though, comparatively speaking to today, did not cost that much. It was the same basic thing where they were way more expensive than the money you had.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I put like a Holly 4 barrel used to cost like $75. That's a lot of fucking money
Yeah,
when we were growing up. But
yeah,
now
but if
you
you're
buy
selling
one, they're
drugs,
$200, $300.
yeah, again, it's still not expensive if you're selling a lot of drugs.
It's, I don't know what these people do, but back then it was the kids doing it because they didn't have any responsibility. Whatever money or wherever they made it, it could go to that. You're watching
Mhm.
adults doing this shit, you know. Uh, you
yeah.
kind of wonder.
These are grown ass guys and women riding around town all the time. I mean, they got a lot of energy apparently. Get a fucking job.
Get a job delivering on the bike if it's that
Something,
good.
Uber bike.
Get it. I mean,
You know,
you can't carry a whole lot, but get a job as a
yeah,
bike
DoorDash
messenger
bike.
and build yourself a trunk or
Yeah, some
whatever.
of them they have.
You can get them saddlebag things for them, like Harley, but they're
Yeah,
they're
Yeah,
like hard case,
Plastic. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
whatever.
yeah,
Fiberglass.
Yeah.
yeah,
Fiberglass.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
some of these
I mean, I
bikes are
don't see
so
I don't see
elaborate
Domino's put the
and
I don't see
shiny,
Domino's put the things out.
and they have, and they're pulling a a cart behind them,
Yeah.
and they go around
Yeah,
and
Well,
like, if you could do
Gainesville,
all that, get a fucking job.
I agree.
right.
Gainesville, these
Yeah,
people are just as annoying now with them things. in on the road as the moped people were back in the 80s. I
Yeah.
hated them fuckers. They were always holding up
Yes.
traffic. And back then, there was way less traffic in Gainesville. And God forbid you hit one, you're going to prison, probably the electric chair. They'll bring it back just for you. And it's like and these people, they don't give a shit. They 3 lanes of traffic. They're good. Yeah, you're
It-
going to wait
well,
for me. And
these
they're all
bikers,
college students. So, and then once the closer you get to the actual college in Gainesville, the more of them there are.
yeah, and these bikers will just come from the side of the road
Yep.
somewhere and dart across in front of
Yep,
4 lanes of
They do.
traffic.
yep. That's a
Yep.
You know,
fact.
Yep.
And they wonder why. And
They don't
you get
even
hit on
work.
one of them things. Two things. One, you're going to be hurt. Unless it blows up, then you're going to be dead. You know,
Yep.
because everybody, and then they got the speed limit at like 20 miles an hour, and it's not because of the traffic or the roads. It's because of these
No,
moron
because those
kids that just
stupid
walk out in
bikes.
the fucking traffic,
yeah,
not looking,
Yep.
nothing. They just walk out.
yeah. But these
Yep.
these bike riders, they pedal bike riders, not motorcycle, but they just barely look and dart across and expect
And,
you to stop for them because they think they own the road,
Yep.
right.
and they're gonna get smacked one day because through
And
through my city, on the outskirts, it's 45 miles an hour speed limit. In in the corporate area, it's or inner city, or middle part, it's 35 because that's where the red lights start. But these jackasses, they don't give two shits. They will dart right in front of you and expect you to slam on your brakes and stop to not bust their ass. And, and I'm like, okay, one day it's gonna happen,
Yep.
you know.
And then they'll start putting up more lights and more signs and more this, more
Yes,
that.
slow traffic more than what it
Yeah.
already is, and
It's bad enough in some cities they slow it down to 25 because it's like a business district where you got this grocery store and everything else, and it ain't got shit to do with traffic safety. And
no,
this and that. But now we're doing it for these stupid kids.
yeah, our
And
our neighborhoods are 25 by default.
well, yeah, I think that's the law in the neighborhood.
Yeah,
It is
except
here, I'm pretty
except
sure.
the little kids on the damn motorized scooters that are hauling ass and don't stop for the stop signs, and you have to watch out so you don't wipe out these little kids.
Well, let's face it. When we used to ride bikes, we didn't stop for stop signs either. We didn't need no stinking stop
that's right.
signs, man.
Right.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah. Yeah. It was the same with
yeah,
roller skaters. They
you
didn't
know, you
stop.
had to be
And we
careful.
didn't
But
stop when we roller
I
skated.
had one neighbor I'd go through, and every parent had these fucking children at play signs. So I'd whip
Oh yeah.
through there about 40 miles an hour, and it pissed them off every
yeah,
fucking week. And the guy's car I did, he thought it was funny, and he was laughing every time. He said, "Another one, huh?" I was like, "Yeah, fuck him,
yeah.
child at play." If you need a
Well,
sign that you for yeah, if you need a sign because your kid's playing outside, you need to be outside watching them because that means
yeah.
he's very young
Yeah.
and you need to be paying attention and leave your phone in the house.
I want more speed bumps down my, or at least one speed bump down my road,
Yeah.
and then on a road just to the east of me. Um, there it's a
No, because then they'll just ride up on your grass.
well, there's that.
You could shoot them then. I think.
Yeah, yeah,
Pretty
it's
sure that's the
traffic.
That,
law.
that are the
But then
that are the first
but
time they
then we
hit one
have
of those.
the which I understand, autistic child in area. Well, don't leave that kid alone, parent.
I was driving down the road one time with the child at play thing, and I watched the parents were outside, and both of them were on the phone, not paying attention. And you know how the ball goes out in the middle of the fucking road. Kid just
Yeah,
that kid was like I don't know 6 or
no,
something. I don't know. He's very small, and he just charged out in the middle of the fucking road. And you know what I
Yeah.
did? I slammed
Yeah.
on the fucking horn as loud for as long if I like 5 or 6 seconds. The kid almost shit himself, and the parents were like this. And I'm like, I just looked out the window. I said, "Get off the damn cell phone." They didn't appreciate that and had things to say back, but I closed the window because I wasn't interested. And then I go to the kid, get your ball, and he came back, and then I drove off. It's like, because it ain't really the kid's fault. The kid's stupid, and he's
Yeah,
been told 9,000 times don't do that, and he's going to do it. So, I get
Right.
that, but the parents are sitting there on a fucking cell phone not paying attention to this shit. That's
yeah,
not supervising your kids.
yeah.
Yeah.
I got
Right.
some kids
And
down
when
the street
Uber,
that black kids they play well, two locations. They play basketball and those, you know, well, one of them is one of those street basketball things,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then the other one is actually in the driveway. Well, they lose the ball every once in a while, and they don't look to see if somebody's coming.
they don't,
Mhm.
They
they
do
don't.
not pay
And
attention,
when,
and these are little kids up
yeah,
up to
when
early teens,
Yeah.
and
Go ahead, Dave.
when Uber was first testing autonomous vehicles, they had a fleet of Volvo station wagons, and they had one going down a street, and the car saw the ball roll out. It rolled past the car, so the computer said, "You're okay to keep going." And it did. What it didn't see was the child between the two parked cars that got it out to get the ball, and it hit and killed the child.
This is why driverless cars, they miss that shit. No, I
Well,
admit
well,
drivers miss that shit too, but not near as much. That's
right.
gonna happen a lot.
Well, what happened was Uber's insurance company said we are going to have to pay dearly. And Travis Kalanick, the guy who owned Uber, I guess, said why. And and their Uber's lawyer said because we watched the driver in the car and the driver was asleep. And if the driver had been awake, the driver would have either stopped. The driver would have just most likely stopped when they saw the ball roll and made sure no one was coming. So they did in fact have to pay. The driver got nailed with some, I don't know exactly what it was besides being asleep while driving.
probably negligent homicide or something.
Yeah,
Involuntary manslaughter or
yeah,
some shit. Yeah.
yeah. And they for the longest time almost weren't going to do. I don't even know if they still have if they have any
I haven't heard
autonomous
about one running
vehicles.
into a police car or a police station in a while, so I haven't. That seems weird.
Yeah,
Maybe they're
Right?
not doing it no more. It's not a great idea. I'm sorry.
it's not.
There's too much going on for even a computer to be able to deal with shit. And if it's doing shit like running into police cars and not seeing police cars,
Yeah,
I gotta tell you, that's really not good technology. It's very
no,
bad.
it's not.
Not to mention what happens when somebody hacks the system and you got driverless cars wrecking every place
Yeah,
and running over people and doing all this
yeah.
bullshit. Because that's
So
that'll happen.
Yeah.
You
it'll
know,
be in,
my next vehicle, I swear to fucking God, if I ever buy another one, is going to be like 30 years old, with a carburetor, no electronics, nothing that can be tracked, and a good stereo, I guess, so I can scream to the top of my lungs when I'm driving down the road there.
Yeah.
Whatever, but
Want to buy a vet, Jerry?
no, 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 thank you, no.
yeah.
I don't want nothing with a fucking computer because,
Well, it doesn't. It's all analog.
well, no, thank you.
Everything.
I don't
The
wish to
only
buy.
computer in the car is the one that runs the engine.
I don't wish to buy anything like that. I can't get out of once I get in.
Would you be surprised?
Oh, I would be surprised because I remember cleaning them and getting in was kind of a pain in the ass because you're basically sitting on the ground,
Yeah,
like
you
I
gotta
don't know, like
fall. You gotta fall in.
Yeah, you're basically sitting 4
and
inches.
you roll
It
out.
definitely need T-tops for me because as I go in, I'm going to slam my head into the thing. So
Well, mine's a target top, so you can remove the lid.
yeah,
And
but the
you know,
getting out over the ledge, the ledge is higher than the seat is off the ground.
Yeah.
yes,
Um, that's a problem for me. I mean, I don't know what there's a case you go through a puddle and the puddle don't come through the door. I don't know. What I
yeah,
do know is that trying to get out, I used to have to actually get out on my hands and push myself out.
yeah.
Um,
This
it's
car is
ridiculous.
3.5 inches clearance.
I believe that. Yeah. The last one I did, I remember it was at a bank and it was blue, really cool color blue, and it wasn't anything special. Didn't have like a lot of special shit, no extras. No, it was just the base model, but it was pretty new. It's back in the '90s. Anyway, I had to like get out on my hands and my feet on next to where the console is and push out to get out of the
Yeah.
freaking. I never. And it's like okay.
Well,
From now on, if I'm doing this car, you park it at the end of the parking lot, and I'll come and do it. I ain't driving that fricker no more.
yeah.
Yeah.
As short as I am, 5'6.5", it's hard for me to get in and get out of that car. I have to
Yeah.
fall in.
You said how your dad? How your dad? I know your dad's been in that car. How the hell did he get in it?
Yeah, he's 6'2", and he's your size, and
Yeah,
he got in,
he's actually bigger than me.
and but he got in the
Well, getting
driver's.
in isn't the problem. It's just you got to do it slowly. You're gonna get a
Well,
concussion.
yeah, and he got out, and it wasn't a problem for him. And so he was able to do it, but and it's got so much leg room in a vet,
Well, I
because
thought the leg room was fine. The well, there's only two seats. I
yeah,
don't know what the hell that thing in the back is, but it ain't a seat. Um,
no, no,
Not
no,
for like maybe
no,
for
that's
your
a trunk.
yeah, maybe your dog could sit behind yours. I don't know,
No,
but
that's the trunk where I put my target top, and you store it in there,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that's
This isn't a car for work or moving your house. Let's put it that way.
no,
Not a lot of room, but I thought that I didn't have a problem with the leg room because when I drive, I got to have the seat pretty much all the way back anyway.
yeah.
Um,
Oh no, this thing. Uh, One of my best friends is like 6'4", and he had no problem getting into it,
yeah,
and had plenty leg room.
yeah.
You know.
I gotta say, yeah, that's one thing about the Corvette. You and the seats are relatively comfortable. I'll give you that.
Yes.
You could probably take a ride in that and not be like, like when I go like long ride, 3, 4 hours in my truck, I feel like a pretzel when I get out.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I drove from Eunice to Baytown, Texas, to go watch NHRA Spring Nationals, and that was I don't know how many hours drive that was, but I went all the way over there, and most of it's all interstate
yeah,
driving, and that car,
Bridge.
uh, yeah, and I had to go across that goddamn bridge, Chuck, in Lake Charles. But that car is surprisingly comfortable to ride in.
yeah.
Unless you got a bunch of fucking potholes and
Well, they
shit.
have. It's like sitting in a and like I've been in one where it's like sitting in a goddamn cockpit. They got all kinds of shit happening on the dashboard
Mhm.
all the way over to the passenger side. I mean, to where the passenger
Yep.
side pretty much starts. There's shit going on everywhere. Okay, and I haven't been in one in a long time, but
But yeah, it's bucket seats that
yeah,
that that really comfortable. It's leather seats, but I have
yeah,
car uh car
I know.
seat
Yeah.
covers over the seats. But other than that,
Built-in code
yeah, this
reader.
thing it would. I filled it up before I left here. Went all the way to Baytown, Texas. And that's a good long ride. You know, 3 hours or two plus hours, and we went to the met my partners and we went to the car races. It got rained out. That was really great. After bought all the tickets, but and drove all the way back. And when I parked that vet underneath my carport, I still had 70 miles due to empty.
Wow.
That ain't bad.
No, it got
Yeah.
over 34 miles per gallon.
Yeah, that's better than my freaking truck. I'm looking
Wow.
at
Yeah, it's
22.
better than everything I had, even my little EV, the not EV, but 4-cylinder Equinox and 6-cylinder Edge and well, my 8-cylinder
Well,
uh,
yeah, but
Dodge,
I
that
get
thing.
22 in a six-cylinder truck. 36. I'd love 36. Best I can get. I when I was my eight-cylinder, when I was pulling a trailer moving here, I could get it to 25. And then in certain part of Florida, there's a lot of hills, and they're for hills they're big. And as soon as you start trying to get up them hills, the going down is fine. Matter of fact, you got to because the trailer's pushing, you got to kind of be on the brake a little bit.
Yeah.
But because it's very hard on the cruise control.
Yes.
But going up them hills, it goes all the way down to like 16. You know,
Hmm.
but normally it would be my eight cylinder like 25, a little over. My fucking six cylinder is 22 about 7.
Yeah.
And
My Dodge, best I ever saw. Um, Mom and Dad and I went to Biloxi, Mississippi, um, and I got right at 20 miles per gallon,
oh
and it's the 4.7 liter
yeah, I had a
Magnum.
five, 5.7. Mine was an '09. It was a Hemi.
Oh, that'll eat up some gas.
No, we were getting pretty good
Yeah.
gas mileage in it. I was very happy
Really?
with it. That was fine, but it was a bitch to fill up when George, not George,
Yeah,
but
Yeah.
when the gas price started going up, it was a bitch. But
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
My tank is a 26-gallon tank.
yeah, yeah, I had the same thing. But I always the most work that truck did was pulling that 16-foot trailer that was well overloaded. Probably had 3,000 to 4,000 pounds in it when it really wasn't.
Yeah,
It,
yeah.
it was supposed to be like 3,200 pounds, the trailer and the load, and
Yeah,
it was
I had
way more than that.
five thousand pound towing package on that truck,
Yeah.
but I had my trailer, which was like a I don't know 10-foot trailer, and I put my 4-wheeler on it and go hunting. And at that point, it was like 14 miles per gallon.
Well, mine is an enclosed, and that's like carrying a parachute behind you. Even though the front is all rounded, it's still hitting it. So it's like you're pulling a parachute. So when you're going downhill, it's fine, but them uphills, forget. I could feel the engine, and it felt like its feelings were hurt. And
That's
that was a
that's like
Hemi.
that's like me going up to Green Bay the other day. Normally I get 30 plus, miles to the gallon. With that top sign on, I dropped her down to 17.
Well, your problem is you live up north, and there's fucking hills and mountains and every other
Oh
damn
yeah.
thing you got. And
No,
plus,
it was the wind. It was the wind.
well, yeah, the wind.
Yeah.
Well, this truck, that Hemi, you could drive any wind down here, rain, whatever. It just drove straight down the roads, no problem. This truck,
Oh,
you gotta be careful because the roads here don't have like the country roads don't have an apron on them.
right.
So it's
Yeah.
basically just the lane. It looks like it's smaller. It's not. It's just you don't have that foot or 18 inches off the lane, and it
Right.
pushes you right off the fucking road. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Anyway, I got to go because it's after 9, and Dave's wife's going to beat the
Yeah,
hell out of all of us.
Yeah.
You're on mute there.
She'll beat the hell out of me. I was just going to page you because send you a message because I just looked down and it's 9:15 and you're usually in bed at eight
Well, why
thirty.
No,
would
I'm
you
not
send
in
a
bed.
message? You're online, Dave.
What?
Yeah, could have just said,
What?
"Shut up, Jerry. We got to go."
No, we started late. I mean, it started to come together late. Chuck and I were on it. I actually didn't know if I was going to pull the plug because I think I was boring Chuck. And some nights you got to have something to talk about at the beginning before everybody gets here, and then it worked out great. So I want to thank everybody who was here. But Jerry, it's always a
Uh,
pleasure to have you here. Tomorrow night
thank-
you will see me on yours. I apologize for not being there last night. Tuesday we went to the Clay County Fair, and I walked. I haven't walked that long in a long time, and I just didn't want to sit in the chair last night. My legs were still bothering me, so I apologize for not being there last night.
that seems like a lot of people, and once you've
Yeah.
had the carnival food, which is important, because some of it is like the pizza's great, a lot of that shit's good. Then that's the only thing about the fair I like is anymore. It's just some of the food. Of course, you pay for it
Yeah,
almost immediately, but
yeah,
the walking is
yeah.
it's actually boring because I don't actually like watching other people ride rides.
No,
And the last fair I went to was down in Indian River County, where Vero Beach is, and the asshole in the dunk tank called me a faggot. Which
you went and
seemed
done it.
wrong to use that kind of language as if you're working at the fair, and it pissed me off, and I was really considering jumping in there with him. I didn't
Okay,
because I was with my at the time girlfriend, and then
yeah,
my daughter and her couple of her friends were there, and I was like, "Fuck!" Plus, it was I don't know what the temperature was, but I was wearing a hoodie and a jean jacket, so it must have been cold. Um, yeah, I
so,
wasn't happy.
some of the guys in the Carney games area were kind of rude in the sense that they were calling it. And I used a rolling walker yesterday because my balance, Tuesday because my balance was a little off, and they do whatever they got to try to do to get you to play those games, and I just you know ten
It's
bucks a
all
game.
rigged.
Yeah,
Well,
but I mean, here, I must have been an easy mark pushing a rolling walker. He said, "Yeah, I can take both hands off the walker, and I'm going to fall down. I won't win."
you
But anyway,
spend by the time you're done to get the big stuffed bear, what the hell ever it is, you spent $90. And how
okay,
long is this kid going to keep the big stuffed bear? It's going to go to the yard sale or to the freaking, the homeless place that sells, shit
yeah.
for them, something like that. And it's like,
Well,
why do you? I don't
I
know. I
I
just,
looked at
I
I
don't.
looked at one of them, and I said, my grandson is like 3 years old, coming up on 4, I think, and I get that. I could win that for him, but then I got to do something for my granddaughter. How old is she? Well, I think she's coming up on a year. So I point to another one. He goes, "Yeah," and I'm going, "No, my wallet doesn't have enough. We'll keep going."
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Robert,
Yeah,
I'll send you a link. Don't worry about it.
yeah,
But we'll see everybody tomorrow night, hopefully.
yeah. Yep. Everybody go to the American Rebellion tomorrow night, 7
Yeah,
p.m.
we'll, hopefully see everybody's in the comments.
Yep.
And guys, thank you. Dave,
Thank
thank you.
you. Thank
Good
you,
to see
Jerry.
you guys. And well, anyway, goodbye.
Right on sour.
No, that comes last. That comes
Oh,
last.
okay.
Oh wait,
Thanks everybody in the
I
chat.
gotta say it
Good
anyway.
comments as usual. And Nikki, good to see you. Dave, glad you were able to be on tonight. And Jerry,
Yeah,
it was
work
always
it
a
out.
pleasure.
It
And
was.
everybody stay safe. And we shall see you tomorrow. Let's get the hell out of here, guys. It's
All
time.
right. Yeah, everybody go home and go to bed. We'll be back
Here you go.
tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Nikki,
Yeah. Everybody be safe and sanitary. And
Okay.
boss
okay.
walk.
Bon sour.
Sour.
All right, let me see. Let me go over here and Chuck, pick a number between 1 and 10.
7.
You win. All right, Nikki. Oh, wait a minute. I was at the wrong switch. All right, Chucky. Now you pick a number between 10 and 1.
3.
I mean, Chucky.
3.
Yeah, 3. Okay,
3.
you win. You win. All right, let's see. So as I said, everybody tomorrow night. Don't forget the American Rebellion at 7 p.m. on the American Rebellion blogger page, somewhere over on X. And I think that's it. I want to thank Jimmy Collins and my cat Robert Wallace. I appreciate you being here. And broadcast, it's always a lot of fun when you're on the broadcast. We'll see you tomorrow night, hopefully, on the American Rebellion. Tina Scott, always a pleasure with you. Larry Burns made us truly international because he's up in Canada. And people on Facebook in Canada are probably going, why? And Michael Anthony was here, and always a pleasure. And I think I got everybody. Monitor decided to work right tonight. We'll work on trying to figure out why things all of a sudden make it to the Facebook live chat and don't always come over to the restream monitor. I'll start using things when you want to. But be careful. Just stay focused, and it'll all work out, or all won't work out, but we'll know whatever happens. Anyway, I'm going to go to bed, and thank everybody for watching. So we'll hit up this one, Double Boost Victory. We have come to an end.